Hello, everybody. Good morning and happy Wednesday to you. See, this is going to be an interesting show, you guys. I'm running on like zero sleep after a sleep study last night, but I'm here and we're doing it. And I'm so excited because my good friend Olivia Ambani is here today. So stay tuned. We've got an all new episode of Project Joy Live coming your way right now. Everybody, good morning, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. I hope you are doing well so far today, whatever time it is. It is officially 9:02 a.m. here on December 11th, 2024, here in southeastern Connecticut. And I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. This is Project Joy Live. It's your triple shot of good vibes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at that 9 a.m. Eastern time hour. I had, as I mentioned when I started the show, I had a last minute scheduling change and had a sleep study last night. And this is my second one that I've had. The last one was way back in 1998. 1998, I had a sleep study. Same hospital, interestingly enough, because I'm back home now. But the interesting part is it's a very different experience because when I had it the first time, they only did them in the hospital. And how the lights are on in the hospital, people are moving about, and then I really cannot figure out who can sleep knowing that someone's staring at you. That's what I'm trying to I'm looking. I at some point I rolled over in the middle of the night and I look up and I see the camera and I hear that song, and you guys know that song. I always feel like somebody's watching me, and that's all I heard in my head because I'm a walking musical. So at 3 in the morning, I'm laying there looking at the camera and listening to that song, and I have all this stuff stuck in my hair and everything else. Like it was something. I did sleep a little bit. But what I was going to say is that this time was very different because they put you in a hotel. They make their best effort to make you way more comfortable than they used to do when they would put you in the hospital and try to do these kind of tests. Uh, I really enjoyed the fluffy pillows. My pillows at home are not fluffy anymore. I enjoyed the fluffy pillows. And the nurse that I had, I do have to give him a little shout out this morning just in case he watches the show. Because what I said to him last night was we were just talking as he's hooking all the things up to me. And I said, uh, funny enough, okay, so I had some music on because I had to wait a while for him, and I was coloring and drawing, doing some art at the little desk in the hotel room, and I had Olivia Ambani's album on. And he goes, "What is this nice music?" And I was like, "That's my friend Olivia in Kenya." And we had this whole conversation, which led to talking about the shows. And he was like, "Well, I guess I better be good to you because if you're going on a show in the morning, you could tell the people all kinds of things." And I said, "I will. So you better be nice because I will tell them that you were mean to me on this show." But he was so sweet and wonderful. I think he's been doing this a really long time. He's been because he was talking about stuff from years ago, doing what he does. And I told him, I said, "I bet you see some really funky things." I was like, watching people sleep all night, I bet you hear and see some really interesting things. And he said, "Yeah, I have some stories." after all this time. But he was really great and wonderful. So I want to thank my nurse for the best effort. But I'm exhausted. I had woke up with a headache, and you got wires and pulling, and you can't really, you can move, but when you have all those wires on you, you feel like you can't move. So then you're really careful and you can't talk. I will digress, but I'm here and I'm trying. So that's what I'm doing today. We've got a great show for you. Head over to the comments. Let me know where you're joining from and what is bringing you joy today. And let's talk about what's happening on the show in the Morning Brew. All right. So I do have some joy today. I do have some joy. Yesterday was the World Building Expo, the last one of the year. It was so nice because I decided that I was not going to get wrapped up in doing a million things. That I was just going to show up in the way that I could show up because my schedule had changed. I was not going to be available for the majority of the expo yesterday, but listen to this, cannot make this up. During the time that I was in there, not one, but two independent film promoters came into my space. Isn't that wild? That's all I can tell you about that at the moment, but it was very cool. And yeah, so we'll end up talking more about that. But I think it was such a great lesson for me yesterday to just do what you can do, and remember that we are only each individually one human, and don't get caught up in everyone saying that this is what you should do or this is what you have to do. Show up in the best way that you can and allow that to be good enough for yourself. And I say for yourself loudly because it's us that has these expectations for ourselves, right? And so show up for yourself the best way that you can, and then have that faith that the time that you do spend, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be, you're going to have people come into your space that you're like, well, that's great timing. And so I want to thank everybody that took the time to come by our community yesterday, and that we got to meet during the World Building Expo. It was so nice to meet all of you. And I want to give a big thank you specifically to Teresa, Brittany, Nancy, all of you guys that came and hung out with us. And we got so many compliments on our virtual community. You guys, if you have not been there to check out all of the amazingness, please go to the breakthroughshownetwork.com. You're going to see a little box in the middle of the page that says to join the virtual community, and I would love to see you there and have you check it out because it's amazing. It's amazing, and we got lots of compliments, and I'm very happy about it. So Miss Nancy's here this morning. Good morning. Glad to be alive today. Howdy. Yes, that's always a great thing to be glad to be alive. That's it. If there's nothing else, guys, there's always that. There's always that. Good morning, Teresa. Good to see you. Blessings and love to you. Miss Brittany's here today. Good morning, Teresa, Brittany, and Jessica with her lack of sleep, and Olivia. Um, right? Nobody can sleep with that kind of nonsense. That's why I did mine at home. I can't sleep knowing people are watching. I know, but it would have actually been worse for me at home because like I said, my pillows aren't fluffy anymore. We'll just go with that. And I wake up a lot more at home because my husband is a bigger snorer than I am. He probably needed the sleep study worse than me, but we're gonna leave that alone. Philip, if you're watching. Um yes, I did it. It's done. That's it. Brittany said the expo was so nice. It was truly amazing. It's always a great time. A big thanks to Go Brunch and Peggy over at Quintosphere for putting on the expo. It was four expos this year, and every time this last one, the one yesterday had the most people registered than ever before, and there were, I believe, 64 exhibitors yesterday. So it was nice to be featured among such amazing people, and so just really thankful for that experience. Listen, guys, we have a lot to talk about this morning as we reflect on 2024. She is my Kenyan bestie. She's an amazing singer songwriter. She is a marketer. She's an entrepreneur. And I am frankly getting to the point where I'm here to just follow her hair stories because I'm so interested in the whole thing. Let's welcome her back to the show, everybody. Olivia Ambani is here.
It's gonna be alright. Better than just fine.
I am invested in the hair at this point, Olivia. I'm so glad to have you back.
Thank you.
Look at the hair game today, you guys. Oh my goodness. I know you talked about recently on the show about talking about your kind of hair journey, which is something that you didn't really dive deep into explore, I guess, until
Yeah.
until more recently. How has that been for you to like share that part of yourself?
Yeah, wow. It was deep for me. So I think 2 weeks ago or three or so, I was like doing my hair. I was just like oiling my hair. Hey, Teresa. And then I just thought I'd just share a little bit. I thought it would be like 2 minute video,
Yeah.
but I ended up like sharing my whole kind of hair story because for me, and I feel like a lot of people, especially Black women, like your hair, there's so much in hair. I think in general for people, like even regardless of race. And for me, I remember growing up, like having my hair, which is a lot more, I guess I'd say 4C, a lot more curlier, more tight knit curls. It wasn't seen as beautiful. And like we were always being made to feel like you need to have straighter hair and easier hair. And so my experience growing up was like the like your hair was not good enough, like it's too difficult, it's too hard, and how that then made me feel about myself. And so in this video that I thought would be 1 minute 2 minutes, I ended up unpacking all of that, and I realized that how the more I accepted who I was as a person and the more I explored my hair, the more comfortable I got with myself. And so one of the goals I set for myself, like last year, was like, I'm going to just experiment with different hairstyles that I want to try. And I found this amazing hairdresser. Her name is Liz, and she has this hair salon called Allure Adesh. And she has the softest touch, and which is such a big thing because sometimes when you're getting your hair braided, like some people tell you, you can leave with a headache. It's just, it's not healthy, but that's how some people feel it's good
Right.
braiding. I was always like, that's not for me. So when I found her, I was so excited because someone can braid really neat, but you don't leave with a headache, you know. And
That's
so,
always a good thing.
yeah, yes. And I think also just, even deeper, like I think there was this association of like curlier, thicker hair was associated with like pain. So, like for me, it was also changing my experience with my hair to something that's more easeful, more like just accepting and loving. And so, yeah, I think for me as well, even as an artist, I'm really deliberate about how I do my hair because I realize like, I do visuals, I'm online, and someone else seeing someone with hair like mine, like being proud of it, can make such a big difference. Because when I was growing up, I didn't see a lot of that. Like we weren't even featured. Like even to do this hairstyle and be a newscaster was unheard of. Like you normally were told you have to have like perm. But for us, perm is straight. I know like perm in other regions is curly.
Right. Right.
So yeah, it's crazy. Like all the how you're made to feel about what is naturally yours. And so I never thought I'd really share that much because it's so personal, but I think I felt like I was ready to. And when I shared, so many different people are like, oh my God, that this was, I can relate. Mine is not that same hair texture, it's this hair texture, but this was also my experience. And it's just brought up so many people sharing. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad that I did. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And it's interesting because I think there was somebody did like a documentary a while back about hair
Mm,
for Black women,
mm,
and about the whole journey, and it's interesting to me because I remember, so I sort of grew up in the hair industry because my grandmother owned a hair salon and my mom was a
mm,
hairdresser for a little while growing I was very, very little. My mom didn't end up staying with it, but hair was always like a topic of conversation in our house. And so, and then also, was it Chris Rock? Thank you, Nancy. I was trying to remember that. Yeah, I
Yes,
think it was
it's
him.
one, yes.
Um, I think I may have seen it too, but it was so long ago now. But I remember growing up, like, my hair was always so straight and so fine, and it just would make me so angry. I'm like, "Why can't I have curly hair and full hair? And, why can't I have beads in my hair and pretty braids and all?" Because I couldn't even get a braid to stay in my hair, like all.
Oh,
So it's always interesting to me with us as women how from a very young age
mm,
looking at what we don't have with our
yeah.
whether it's our hair, the color of our skin, the
Hmm.
shape of our body, we always want whatever the different look is. And so
Mm,
that to me is a fascinating thing because I think that each person just has their own, like, why can't we just be satisfied with what we have?
yeah. I know, like it's true, and but I also like recognize the influences that make us feel like that,
Right. Right.
because growing up for me, it wasn't just me. Like I had continuous messaging. Like this part of my story I share, and it's on my YouTube channel now. I've posted all 3 parts. Like I'd go to a hairdresser and they'd be like, they'd say, "Sue, texturize," which just basically means, can't you just like soften your hair? Like it'd be really good for you, and like you're a child who's 10, 8, some go even younger, and if every time you go you're being told, just change your hair, just change your hair, like it's very unlikely you won't want to change it, or you won't want to be different. So I think also there's all those, like what you're being told or what you're being shown, what environment you're in really influences like how you feel about different parts of yourself.
Right, right.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Well, this is our last show together in 2024, and I'm sad. But
Oh, me.
I really wanted to use these last episodes with everybody to reflect a little bit on our year, and I would love to hear from you. What are some of your favorite moments of 2024? And then maybe what's a moment or two that you're taking lessons from going into the next year?
Oh yeah, that's a big good
It
question.
is.
I think favorite moments, one definitely turning 40 was
Mm.
definitely a big moment for me, and how I chose to celebrate my year overall, like being intentional about giving myself care, doing a photo shoot, going out for dinner. It's the first time I've ever gone out for dinner on my birthday, and I was so intentional about, I'm going to celebrate myself. And it wasn't dependent on other people. It was just, this is what Olivia wants. And I think that was one of my highlights. And also having like this full 360 approach, because I felt like at the beginning of the year I was rushing to, like, you have to do these things before you turn 40. Like I had these goals, and as the month went, I was like, that doesn't matter to me. Honestly, I'm just happy to be alive and that I get to be me, and that's enough. Like I removed all the prerequisitions I had on me turning 40. And I think that was one of the most beautiful things. And I just accepted, you are where you are in life, and that's great. And then I think the other thing was in terms of my music career, like just the opportunities I got, having my music placed in your movie. That was so cool. I was like, yay. And I was like placed in 3 films this year. So it was
I
yours.
know, I was gonna say.
There was Brett's documentary that came out this year as well. And then there was another family vacation. So it was just like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. Like these are things that I wanted for my music, and they happened. And then also doing the music career mentorship program was so big for me, because I've always wanted to do it, and I finally did it, and the impact it's made, and money conversations, and being able to have people come up to me at different events now saying, I did this and this is how it impacted me. I think that was such a highlight for me, because I feel like I'm living my purpose. Not feel, I know I'm living my purpose, and to see the results of it so quickly is amazing. So those three things for sure. And I guess another one, just how intentional I was about what matters to me. Like, I was more just like, you want to run, make time to run. You want to get therapy, and getting support. Like, I was very big on getting support, because I'm normally like, I'll do it myself. I was like, mm-mm. This year was a lot about get help, get support. I got a PA, and I'm so proud of myself for that. And
Yes. It's hard
yeah.
to let stuff go.
Ah,
Like let somebody do things for you. Oh boy.
yeah, I was even telling her, because we met up for lunch like this week. I was like, I wanted to take out for lunch, because I can't believe it's almost 3 months. I can't believe it's been 3 months working with her. And I was telling her, I'm so grateful for you and what you've done for my life, and
Yeah.
what I'm learning, having you, like, learning to let go more. I think that was really good. And then on the lessons, I think is like learning that you cannot change or fix anybody. Like, that for me was big, especially with family and friends, and that I shouldn't put my life on hold because I'm waiting for something to change in somebody else. Like, I need to just live my life and support if I want to, where I can, but don't base my actions on when this person does, then I will. Like, so I've been very big on that, and like just feeling like I have to save my family or save people. And I'm like, nah, I'm a recovering saving addict. I'm doing me. If you need support, if I can, I will. If I can't, I can also say no. And so I think my biggest lesson to self is live your life, mind your business, and let people make the choices they want to make. Some will be great, some will be absolutely horrible, but that's on them.
That's
Yeah.
it. Live your life and mind your business. I'm here for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So I'm like, because I was carrying too many people, and literally it was draining my health, my mental health, everything. And I was just like, this is too much. And why am I doing it? And who's asked me to do it? And even if, yes, you can see your firstborn or whatever, like, there's all these expectations that might be there, but you choose what works for your life and what doesn't. And also being comfortable being seen as a bad person to other people, because I may not be doing what they want me to, but I was like, my well-being matters more, because I'm a better person when I'm well than sacrificing my well-being for someone else. And I just had to make peace with that. And yeah, it's not easy always, but I'm glad.
Yeah. No, and that last part about, you're going to be seen as a bad person to some people. I think it's interesting with that because uh, for one of the things that I had to come to terms with, and this was interesting because this also came up as I was talking with people for the documentary. Um is that I do care about being liked. I do care if people enjoy my presence. And I think that there's so much of a push in the personal development world to be like, don't care what other people think about you, and that's on them and not you. But I think the real key for me is understanding, like, it's okay for me to desire to be liked. I,
Yes.
I don't I don't think anybody wakes up in the morning and goes like, I hope no one likes me today.
No, that's not a goal.
Could you
Not for
just
me.
imagine? But I think it's like, okay, like, do your best to show up in a way to where people enjoy you, but then also releasing and knowing that no matter what you do,
Yeah.
there you could be the best part. You could be Mother Teresa and somebody's going to be mad at you. And
It's
that's just it.
It's true, and just understanding, like, in the thing, one of the really painful lessons I learned was some people just want to be miserable, and they like,
Yes.
there's nothing you can say or do, like, it's not changing. And I think it was really hard because, it's a really close family member, and I was like, when you get that revelation and you realize, like, the more you try and drag this person to somewhere they don't want to go, you're just being sucked into their own drama. And so, like, just accept. I had this pivotal point where I realized not everyone wants to heal, not everyone wants to like change their situation, and that's okay. They're not good or a bad person. That's just what they've chosen. And so
That,
I
yeah.
think we, have to accept that. Otherwise, we cause ourselves so much misery because we're thinking everyone has the same intention in this life and they absolutely do not. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's such you just the letting go. I think it's hard sometimes because especially if we're helpers, if we're healers, if we want to make the world a better place and we want to just jump in and fix it. But the reality is not everybody wants to be fixed.
No,
And that's,
no, no.
we can't fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. And it's not really our job to do it anyway. So I like what you said first, mind your business.
It's true. How has it been for you?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind year. And I never in a million years thought I would end the year with the title filmmaker. Like that wasn't even something I mean, I thought about it, but it wasn't planned like nothing else, like everything else I do. But yeah, it was interesting because it was really quite a roller coaster year with my health.
Mm,
And I went back, and this is my sort of reflection part of the year. And so every year I choose a word of the year, and I was just going over my word that and everything that I wrote about my word from last year. And so my word for this year was amplified. And it ties into exactly what you were talking about, which is that um we get to choose, like, what are my choices in every situation, in my health, in my finances, in my family, in my business, with my friendships, with my family. Like, what are my choices in those things?
mhm,
And are the choices that I'm making amplifying the parts of my life that I want to have, or am I giving my energy to things that don't need to, that I'm saying that I don't want? And so it's, I looking back, I feel like I really did embody my word. And I also, like, I think I'm at 21 or 22 weeks of getting up every day and doing some form of exercise.
wow.
Every day minus one. Today I'm a little bit late because I'm I'm exhausted this morning, but um, yeah, it was a lot of good things. I feel like there were many of us that got to, like, take our relationship further. I got to meet Brittany in person. She came up for Thanksgiving. I got to have your song in the film, and we got to do the show together. You, Brittany, Trista, got to hang out more with my friend Danielle here in person. Lots of time spent with Teresa and Nancy and Rhonda this year. And so a lot of, like, nurturing what was already present. And I feel really good about that because sometimes it's easy, I think, to get involved with a person or a thing or whatever, and then just sort of skim the surface. And so I feel
Mhm.
like there was like a deep dive into what already was this year, which I think is a good thing.
I love that. And congrats on the movement for so long. That's a big one. That's a
Yes,
big.
is all of the results have been at a turtle's pace. I mean, you know, because you just turned 40. The older you get, the more challenging it can be to, one, show up for yourself consistently in that way, but also to have the kind of results at a pace that we're used to, which doesn't always happen as you get older. And for me, like, especially, and we talked about this before, like, being in perimenopause for me now, like, it just, the hormone thing has been wildly challenging this
Mhm.
year. And so I'm just leaning into it though, because I feel like it takes more energy to fight it than it does to
I
just
agree.
be.
I agree. And I think also just like what I love in this age is being open to like fitness and movement looking different for everyone.
Yes.
And, I think for us, and also it can be a challenging time because there's so many stereotypes that are pushed to us, like this is how you should look, this is what you should do, and this is how fast you should get these results. But we're not taking into account so many things, like your body, where you are, like your hormones, like your life, where you even live. Like, and all these things. So I always say, like, I a few, like maybe 2 3 years ago, I moved from fitness to movement. There's someone
Mm,
I follow, and they were
yeah.
like, the goal should be movement, not even fitness. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, just move the body in a way that makes sense to you, and that's enough. And you're right, sometimes you won't see the results in the time that you're expecting, but they definitely come. It's just different, you know.
Yeah.
So I like that, you know, you acknowledge that, and yay to you,
Yeah.
Jessica. Yay to
Doing it.
you.
I'm doing it. And releasing what I think it's supposed to look like, you know, and just and that what you talked about, you know, moving instead of fitness is key for me. Anytime somebody talks about like going for a run, I don't understand that. I'm like, what are you running from? Is something chasing you? Are you okay? Because I can't do it. And or did you hear the ice cream truck? Because that I would run for that. I would hear if I heard, I would run for that. But just it there and that was I really dove into that for myself this year too, because I have a lot of trauma around moving my body, you know, like the times when I did make an effort, like I was on the track and field team. I used to do field events in school, and I hurt my wrist throwing
Mhm.
shot put. And then
Mhm.
when I was in high school, I tried to be on the diving team, and that's how I hurt my back, which led to my back surgery. And so it's like I have, which ironically, you want to hear something really ironic? It was the same pool that my mother hurt her knee in high school.
No.
Isn't that wild? So, so there's a lot of like trauma wrapped up in movement for me, because here I was as a child trying to show up and do what I was supposed to do, and I just couldn't. And every
Mm,
time I did, something would happen like that. And so it's so I had to do that same shift for me too. It's going from like, okay, I don't need to like have a plan and follow a certain thing. I just need to get up and move my body every day.
mhm,
And so that's
mhm.
been the goal. And I'm nicer to myself this year this year
Yeah,
than I've been in
that's so
time.
important, because I think in these processes we can be too hard on ourselves. Like, I feel for me, I love running, so I'm on the other side. But I
I
went
know.
from running, yeah, running in school to not running for years, and then being really hard on myself that I couldn't get back to like peak performance. And again, I was like, you were you were boarding, so you could run every day. You played every sport, so your fitness level there cannot be what it is. And you
Yeah.
were way younger. And so I had to make peace with like 1 second is a run, 10 seconds is a run, 200 meters is good enough. And just allow my body to be what it is now and not be harsh, because it was, you know. But also I think I want to acknowledge the importance of parents, siblings, and teachers when it comes to movement. Like, what we say to children when they are younger stays with them. So like, not everyone is going to be the stereotypical athlete, but that doesn't mean that you should be mean to them because they're not moving how you want. Because I saw that in so many ways. Like, I almost hated swimming because my swimming teacher would hit my hands because I was scared of the deep end. Like, get off the deep end. And I remember that trauma, but I got over it and ended up swimming. But it's like, it's so important what you're told when you're younger. And so I think it's just like, let's just be kind. Honestly, let's just be.
Yes. Yes, 100, like I remember my so when I was growing up in school, we they implemented something called the presidential fitness test here in the United States. And all of the kids had to like do that in gym class, where they had to run a mile, they had to do like a certain number of they would test how many sit-ups you could do, how many pull-ups you could do, you
What?
bonus points if you could climb this big old rope. And I was just like not having it. I was like, this is the most horrible thing. And so it implemented some like I think a sense of like um competition with the
Mm.
kids, because it was like who could do the most of what all these things are, which you're going to get in public school anyway. But my point is that my favorite days were when when it was raining out and we couldn't do that other stuff, and Mr. Franzone used to roll in the TV, and he would put on the video for Jody Watley's fitness VHS. He would put it in there, and we would all, I'm looking for a new love, baby, a
I
new
love it.
love. And that was my favorite part of gym class, was doing the Jody Watley dance.
See, that's awesome.
So they should have gave me credit for that, is what we're saying. We're saying here today.
No, I believe that. Like, I feel like we need to stop standardizing how we measure success, how we measure fitness, movement. Like, I was even telling someone that one of the things I'd like to do, I don't know when, is like do a study on teaching people to learn how they learn. So like, because we all learn very differently. And when I'm older now, I'm more aware, like I'm more of an experiential learner. So if you give me like a task, like I will learn faster than if you just tell me sit in a class and like just listen. Like unless there's examples or it's practical, my brain just goes, I'm not interested in that. So that's why being an entrepreneur and all that makes sense. And so I think even with our education system, it needs to take into account that we are different. Like not the same. We don't learn the same. We don't experience it. Nobody's body type is the same. So why are we expected to physically do the same?
That's the question. That's the question right there. Listen, guys, we're going to take a really quick break, and you're going to see the trailer for the Friendship Paradox, because I want y'all to watch it if you haven't watched it yet. And while we're watching that trailer, for those of you that have seen the film, many of you have messaged me and told me, but I would like for you to be in the comments and let Olivia know the impact that her song had for you as you watch the end of this film, because I've heard things, but I haven't told you yet. So we're just going to do this really quick, and everybody put in the comments, and we'll be right back after this.
Caldwell Williams, on April 4th, I was 90 years old, grandson of slaves. My parents were first generation free. A long time ago, I embraced the definition of love. Love is the experience of well-being, and a friend is one who mutually shares that experience of well-being with you, which opens up almost infinite creative possibilities.
We're told as children to go make friends, but what did that look like? And how has it changed over time? Friendship is one of life's greatest gifts, and sometimes one of its greatest challenges.
Someone who is there to support you, someone who is willing to go through the ups and downs of life with you.
Connection, but also the opportunity for learning and deeper connection.
If I don't talk to that person for 2 months, we pick up the phone like we've never stopped talking. To me, that is what a friend is.
Friend to me is someone I can share my joys, also the struggles I have.
Friend means somebody that you can talk to and that you can trust.
So a friend to me is actually someone really, really close, an inner circle person.
And I think it's an important discussion to pass on to other generations so they don't get caught being lonely at the end because they haven't thought about friends in different ways.
This is the Friendship Paradox, a raw and real exploration of connection. Through 26 voices across miles and time zones, we reflect on the friendships that shape us, challenge us, and teach us who we truly are.
I need your shoulder.
What does it mean to be a friend? How do we navigate connection in a world that's constantly changing? And what can we learn about friendship by looking within? This isn't just a film about friendship, it's a call to reflect on the relationships we built, the ones we've lost, and the sacred connection we have with ourselves. What does friendship mean to you?
You can watch this film at thefriendshipparadox.com featuring Olivia's amazing song Shoulder, which I even started it came on as I mentioned when I was in the sleep study last night. I was playing your whole album and it got to Shoulder and I'm crying in the damn hotel. Like it gets me every time. Teresa said, your song was so touching and meaningful. It was the perfect wrap up to this emotionally stirring film. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
I love that. And Nancy said, for me, my knees buckled when Olivia's song begins. It's so aligned and completing the messages, releases, and the journey of this treasure. Thank you, Nancy.
Oh, wow.
It's that when the song comes on at the end, you just sort of, it's like, just this moment of what in the world did I just watch? Like oh my goodness. And it really, the song just takes you to that place of going, okay, I've heard all this, but now what does this mean to me? What does friendship look like in my life? And sometimes I think what I love so much about that song is we talk about a lot of things in the film, a lot of different desires we have, some of the challenges we faced about friendship, but that song is just the simple, I just need your shoulder. Like I just need you.
Yeah, that's it. I think, and I think when I was writing it, and even when I reflect on it over the years, it's sometimes you think we need to fix things, so you think you're not a good enough friend because you don't have the money or the access. But most times people just need your presence, not even to say the right thing or do the right thing, just to be there, however being there is. And so, that's what that song is about. It's not just about the person asking for help, but also the person who wants to be there for you. Like, most of the times being a friend is just being present. Like it's really not as complicated as we think. And so I'm so glad that it was part of your film and that it makes people reflect, because I know when I was writing that song what it meant to me and continues to mean to me. So I'm really happy that it's helped other people to also like reflect in that way.
Yeah, 100%. It was the perfect cap to the film. So make sure you guys go check that out at thefriendshipparadox.com. We've had some other exciting things happening with some other folks on the Breakthrough Show Network, and I thought that we would take a minute and watch a little video, you and I, of something that happened last Friday. So I mentioned to you guys that Robert Lukian, who has been a guest here on the Breakthrough Show Network. By the way, the story, I met him on a TikTok live. I was doing a live and he came in the comments and we struck up a conversation. And I was just like, you're going to be on like lots of stages. Like I was like, you're going to be a really big deal. And he's like, oh, that's really funny because I'm a singer. And then so we got to talking about it, come to find, and then he was on the show and now he's on The Voice Romania and he just made it to the semifinals, you guys. So excited for him. Yay! And I wanted to take a minute with Olivia today and watch this performance from The Voice Romania. You may hear me talk a little bit over it because we're just watching the video. I don't want to get in trouble or whatever, but I got to show this to you guys. This is Robert last Friday singing "Listen," Beyonce's song. Okay, that was a big tall order here. So check this out, Robert Lukian on The Voice Romania.
Listen to the song here in my heart.
So quiet and peaceful at the beginning.
Listen to the sound from deep within. It's only beginning to find release. Oh, the time has come for my dreams
so
to
good.
be heard.
Mm-hmm.
We pushed aside and turned into your own, all 'cause you won't listen.
Ooh.
Woohoo!
I am alone at the crossroads.
Yes.
Alone in my own home, and I try to see what's on my mind. You should have known. I don't know where I belong.
Ooh.
But I've been moving on. If you don't, if you won't,
Got chills.
listen.
Mm-mm.
So here in my heart, the melody I start, but I will complete.
Oh, Lord.
Now I'm done believing you. You don't know what I'm feeling. I'm on the water. You made of me. I follow the voice and think against me. But now I gotta find.
Wow.
Lord.
Wow.
Yes, 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 yes.
I'm out of breath just watching him. I'm like,
I know.
the vocal control and he did all the hard bits. Like he mashed up all the hard bits in like under 2 minutes. How the heavens, he has such range.
Okay. So, I mean, first of all, there's certain songs that I just feel like the majority of us would like we just leave it alone. We don't
Yeah.
we don't go there.
Good night.
And so yes, I felt like the song choice was just total bravery because and then my favorite part is when he got to where the bridge came in and it was still so understated. Like it was so controlled and like and then lets it all fly at the end.
Right. And the like he has such good breath control and like lungs because those notes he's holding and he's just done some acrobatics like whether you're a singer or not, you would have heard like what, and then just to kind of also have his own twist to it in a way, like in the midst of such a very popular song, he was able to kind of merge it to be his own in his way. Man, props to him. And such a stage, like, because it's live. I don't know if people realize, like, this is live, like, there's no option. Like, you either deliver or you don't.
Yeah, I mean it was a live show and it's going to be live again. So I can only tell you in time zones for me what it is. So at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time is when it's live. I think it's like 6 something in Romania or 7 something. Anyway, you can vote. So when I share the link in our Instagram story and on Facebook, you're able to go on and vote for Robert. So please do that on Friday during the semifinal show. That I was trying so hard to figure it out the last time because everything's in Romanian, so I have no idea what they're saying outside of whatever songs are sung in English. But I also found the show really fascinating. One, the fashion is so different than here. Really cool to see that. And then also he has got his work cut out for him in the semifinals because there's this one girl that has, it's like watching some kind of weird combination of like Heart and Guns N' Roses. And like, it's just so good. So good. So congratulations to everybody who's made it to the semifinals on The Voice Romania, especially we have a little bias here. Robert Lukian. We hope you do well. Let's make it to the end. Let's make it to the end.
And I'm sure you need to have him on your show now after this because like
he promised he promised he would
No.
come back. So
Robert, you promised. So you need to come back. We want to know details. We want
Yes.
exclusives. How did it feel? Like, how did it happen when you got the call? I want to watch that show, please.
Yes. We need all the details. You hear the people want it, Robert. So you
Yeah.
have to come back now. It's not just me. All right, Olivia, we got to do birthdays today. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, you guys, I was trying to bring up my notepad on my phone with my birthdays on it, and somehow the Smoothie King app opened. Apparently, that's the universe saying, get yourself a smoothie, Jessica. Let's see. In the world of celebrity, this is so timely. Brenda Lee, who is the voice behind a very popular Christmas song, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. She's 80 years old today, everybody. Brenda Lee,
Wow.
80 years old. Yep. Rocking around the Christmas tree. You guys know that song. That's what we need, a Christmas album, Olivia. Let's
My friends keep telling me, I'm like, guys, I don't know.
Listen, okay, put some hearts in the comments, you guys, if you want to see a Christmas album from Olivia. We especially want to hear you sing Mary Did You Know?
Oh,
we need
my.
to hear that song.
You know what? But okay, we finished birthdays and I have a story about that.
Okay. Okay. So Brenda Lee, 80 years old. Ryder Strong, who was in the show Boy Meets World, 45 years old today. And I'm very sad because he was at 90s Con when I went last year and back in March. And I was not able to meet him, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, maybe he'll be at this next one that I'm going to. So happy birthday, Ryder Strong. Also, another big name, Rita Moreno, who played Anita in the original film version of West Side Story, is 93 years old today. So happy birthday, Rita. Also from the Jackson family, Jermaine Jackson is the big 70 today, 70 years old.
Wow.
Also, my cousin Ken Green has a birthday tomorrow, and today, one of my first friends from over on that side of the pond, who was back, he's a breakthrough show OG. F.A. Owafasa is the big 50 today from the Breakthrough Show Network. Effie, we love you so much, and we hope you have an amazing birthday. Anybody you know that's celebrating today, Olivia?
No, I think I closed most of the birthdays in October and then a few friends in November, but
that's it. So if it's your birthday, happy birthday to you, and we're gonna get our birthday song on. Here we go. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Brenda Lee, Ryder Strong, Rita Moreno, Jermaine Jackson, Ken Green, and F.A. Owafasa. Happy birthday
to
you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. We hope you have an amazing day. Olivia, it's our last one of the year. Anything? I'm so sad. Anything that you want to leave with our audience today?
So I was gonna say a short thing about Mary. Did you know?
Oh,
so
yes.
I went to this event. It was at the Swedish ambassador's residence, and so they had a choir and they were singing "Mary, Did You Know?" And I happened to bump into my schoolmate, and she was like, "They're singing Mary, Did You Know?" And that was the first song I ever did a solo on. And so she's like, "I have to record this and put it in the school group." And so she like records them singing and then pans to me and then like posts it in the school group. And she was like, "How does it feel?" I'm like, it's crazy. Like, one of the songs that changed my life is Mary, Did You Know? Because to this day, I have parents, students come up to me and be like, "We still remember when you sang Mary, Did You Know?" So,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's one of those songs that I'm like, okay, I'm contemplating doing a short cover of it this year. I had this whole plan. It's not panned out. So I may just call my pianist and be like, let's just do a short cover of Mary Did You Know? Because I've been asked for years to do it.
The people agree. The people watch. I'm just a troublemaker.
This grand thing, I want to go back to my school and like do, but maybe I just need to do something simple, and who knows? Because sometimes you have all these massive plans, and maybe all it takes is something simple. So in the next 10 days, you might see something.
Yeah. I was thinking something simple like hopping on a plane and coming to the United States, and we sing Mary Did You Know together. I mean, that's
just that, right?
Something simple like that. Just
yeah, just that. But I'm telling you, like, you keep calling me, I'm gonna come. Like now, like also like super exciting news. Literally like an hour before this, I signed on my manager. So I have a manager now as a musician. Yeah. Yeah, and it was so cool. And she's a lady. And I was like, I'm so happy. And what's so crazy is where we signed it was where I had a really horrible interview with a potential manager who told me I was too old to be an artist.
What?
Yeah, and so I was telling her, God just works in mysterious ways that I'm literally on this table with you signing, like to bring you on, and you're like the opposite of that, like so encouraging, so amazing. And I was like, and that happened like 5 years ago. And so I was just like, you know what? It pays to just be patient. And I think, I guess my final words to anyone, don't ever let anyone talk you out of your dream. Like, and specifically women, don't let someone tell you you're too old to sing, too old to whatever. Please, there are people who are doing Olympics in their 90s. Like, there's an Olympics or sports or something for everyone. So I think don't let yourself, man or woman or however you identify, don't let someone talk you out of your dream because they're limiting themselves. If you feel it in your heart that you want to do something, do it. Like, and if you want to start in December, don't wait till January. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think that's my final words to someone is, it's your life. You get to choose. So choose what you want. Yeah.
I love that. And to that manager, on behalf of everyone here, you messed up big. That's it. That's all we're gonna say. I feel like this is that moment, and this is gonna be that moment like from Pretty Woman when she walks in the store afterwards and she said, "Big mistake." That's it.
That's it.
I've had so much fun with you on the show this year, Olivia, and I hope we'll get to see you a little bit in 2025. And I just thank you so much. Thank you for being here, part of the show. Thank you for being a part of the documentary, and thank you for being a friend.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will be back on Friday with y'all, hopefully a little more awake than today. Though Olivia has helped to wake up my spirit a little bit. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to remind you to make joy a priority in your life today and every day, because you are the joy. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Myself up, yeah, I've been climbing after the world swallowed me up, and I'll keep fighting as long as I'm alive. No, I'm not saving what's inside me for the other side.